We are excited to announce that we are going to do a wedding series. I'm Monty with Flowers by the Bunch, and today I am going to do an arrangement that will go on top of a barrel at a wedding. So what I've chosen is this is just a really sturdy plastic bowl, and I have taken 2 pieces of wet floral foam or Oasis. I've placed them down into this bowl and I have taped them into the container so that they won't fall out once I've arranged the flowers. And then I filled my reservoir with clean, fresh water that has fresh floral food added. And what I'm going to do is I am going to start with Lisianthus that we harvested. And this is going to be a fairly large arrangement. So I'm going to start out with just a base first. Just a base of Lisianthus, and then once I get to the wedding site, I will add more greenery so that it will be larger, as large as I need it to be. But this kind of just gives me a little bit of a base to start with. The best part about Lisianthus is that it's very hardy and it holds up beautifully in wedding work, both in water or out of water. It holds up well. Okay, so that's my base. Of course, I have not covered all of my mechanics, but I've got a good base started. Then I'm going to take fresh white hydrangeas. These are the large type of hydrangeas. It's just a large white hydrangea. And I am going to do an angle cut and stick that right into that water. And I'm doing this arrangement all the way around because it will be an arrangement that you will see all the way around. All right, so those are the hydrangeas. Then I'm going to take cremones. Cremones are a type of mum. Just a large mum. It is June here in Mississippi, and so it's fairly hot. So you want flowers that are going to hold up in the heat. This is an arrangement that will be used inside a barn, but it has air conditioning. So it will be in a good environment, but you want flowers that are going to hold up. So I'm going all the way around with my cremones. And as I work, I am just turning my container so that I can get flowers all the way around. Next, I'm going to take white stock. White stock is a beautiful lime flower. Now, it's one that you have to watch in the heat. It doesn't love heat. It will wilt, and so you want to make sure that it's going to be in fresh water. It has a good water source. And this bowl is a very good reservoir to hold water. So the stock should hold up. So I'm just going to tuck that stock in that arrangement all the way around. And I'm using a knife, a sharp knife, to cut these flowers just at an angle and tuck them into that oasis. And I'm just turning the arrangement as I go so I get flowers all the way around. So there's the stalk and the hydrangeas, the promones, and now I will come back in with some pink Lisianthus. Lisianthus is really one of my favorite flowers. It has, if you look at it close, it has a rose effect if you look at the flower itself, but I love the buds that are on Lisianthus. This is a pale pink Lizzie. The bride wanted whites and pale pinks, and so that's why we chose the pink Lizzie. So I'm just going to do exactly like I've done with all the other flowers. I'm just going to put flowers in all the way around. Next flower I'm going to use is white Lisianthus. Same flower, just a different color. I'm just going to go all the way around with those flowers. Tend to work kind of in a circular motion, so I put a flower in and I twist the arrangement, and I put a flower in and I turn the arrangement. I find that that's my easiest way to work instead of having to walk all the way around the arrangement constantly. Next I am going to use some large spider mums. Spider mums are going to fill up some of the space down deep, the dark space that's in the center. So I'm going to cut them shorter and kind of tuck them deeper into the arrangement. But you see how they're kind of filling up some of that dark space. Here's kind of a hole. So I'm just going to tuck it down into that hole where it'll kind of fill up that dark space. Spider mums are fairly inexpensive flowers, but you get a lot of bang for your buck. So really, I have just taken about 5 or 6 stems of those spiders and tucked them down in. Spiders are also a type of mum, long-lasting, and work beautifully in large work. Okay, so there's the spider mums. And lastly, I am going to take some open cut. It's not going to be last. I've got one more thing after the open cut roses. These are just an open cut Mondale rose. It opens beautifully, and what I'm going to do is I just kind of stick my fingers down in there And I kind of pop those petals back to open that rose and give us an open effect. In the past, I've told you I personally like to wire a rose. The reason I am going to wire these roses is, number one, it's hot. It's hot outside. It's going to be in the 90s for this wedding. And so I am going to wire that rose because I am going to install this wedding arrangement around 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning. The wedding does not start until 5 in the afternoon. And so I want to guarantee that these roses are going to stay standing, their heads are going to stay firm. And so that's the reason I choose to wire the roses. So what I did was I stuck my fingers down in there and I opened those petals. You don't want to be too rough with them because I don't want the roses to fall apart, obviously, but I do want them to open up and be pretty. As they warm up, they will open more, but I am just going to tuck these open cut roses deep into this arrangement. Again, I'm taking that rose, you can see how it's tight. I'm going to put my fingers down in the center carefully, and I am just going to pop this rose open. You want to be fairly careful when you go with white roses. White roses tend to bruise a little easier than other colors. They'll leave marks on their petals. So be a little careful when you go in, but you can just pop it open. Just opened all these roses. Okay, and then the last flower, but certainly not the least, are the bombastic spray roses. These are actually, they come out of Africa, and they are absolutely the prettiest spray roses I believe I've ever seen. There's such a large head, and there's lots of heads per stem, and so they're such a pretty spray rose. So I'm going to tuck this color down into this arrangement, and I'm going to put it fairly deep into the arrangement. You can kind of see how I tucked that one pretty deep. See how many heads are actually on that one stem. Lots of heads, and it's just a very large flower. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to tuck it fairly deep right here, right into that arrangement. And I'm going to continue to spin the arrangement and place the spray roses in the arrangement. And lastly, I am going to take a little more of the Elaeagnus and fill in my little holes. I also have beautiful wax flower. This is just a really pretty filler flower. And this filler flower, the wax is just going to fill in the places that don't have flowers. So I'm just gonna, it's a very woody stem. I'm just gonna pop it off and tuck wax down into the center of this arrangement. And you can kind of see where it just fills in. It just fills in the holes where we didn't have flowers. Some up top. See how there's a hole here? I'm going to just take that wax flower and tuck it deep down into that arrangement. And guys, what we will do is we will take this arrangement, it will go to the reception. When I place it at the reception, I'm going to place it on top of a large barrel, and then I am going to green it out more where it'll have long tendrils that are hanging over the edge. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or any comments, please let us know, and we'd love to answer any questions you might have.